Hey everybody, welcome to GT Live. My name is Brandon Jones. I am your host. Today we are playing Shovel Knight, which you can see behind me. Who's playing Shovel Knight right now? Kyle Bosman has wrested the controller away from Brad Ellis, who is scheduled to play Shovel Knight. But Kyle he's got to play it. So Kyle currently is playing Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight, of course, currently available on PlayStation 4. Speaking of Shovel Knight is the codes that we are going to give away today. 3 codes, in fact. So the 3 best questions picked by either Elyse Willems or Daniel Bloodworth. They are co-oping the chat. I believe Elyse is actively doing it right now.
Yes.
Blood might fill in later. Wait and see. So if you really want... Sorry?
I'm just banning people. If anyone can settle
okay, good, yeah. So be nice to Elyse, be nicer to Blood. And so we're giving away 3 codes to the best questions. And our wonderful guest today, Pamela Horton from Playboy.
Oh my god, hi guys.
Can we call you the gamer next door? There's actually 2 gamer next doors.
There are the gamers next door, but it is a title that gamer next door applies to me and Amelia. It's to both of us.
So before we get to the Band-Aids that you have on your hand, which I'm very curious about, I want to create a mystery around the Band-Aids, because I don't know why you brought those up before we even started the show. So let's talk about Gamer Next Door. So how long has this been around, and what is it?
Gamer Next Door is a franchise that existed well before I was a Playmate. It was actually, before I was the Gamer Next Door, it was run by Jo Garcia. She was a Cyber Girl of the Year for Playboy Plus. It's all rigmarole. But Playboy Plus or Manwin used to own Gamer Next Door, and just recently, in like the last 2 months, Playboy Enterprises, like the magazine, the official company, bought Gamer Next Door. And since I was kind of the Playmate running it, they were like, okay, let's adapt this, and they basically said, we want you to have fun, and we want you to cover the things that interest you, and just go do silly stuff. And I was just like, yes, I have a free pass to go have fun with my best friend, and it's my living. It's awesome.
And we're rolling footage of you covering the Call of Duty Championships. I have seen your stuff. It is very silly and wonderful. You have great energy, and it's wonderful to have you on the show. So 2 months ago, so that was fairly recent. Yeah. What instigated the purchase? Do you think was it just kind of out of the blue?
Well, Playboy's kind of going through this rebranding thing where before, if you visited Playboy.com, it was kind of a not safe for work site where there was like boobs and butts everywhere. But now it's a men's culture site.
I've heard this. I've never been there myself.
Yes,
personally.
I didn't know either. That's what I don't know. But it used to be a little unsafe, and but now they want it to be kind of like along the lines of competitors like Maxim and Sports Illustrated, where you go online, it's men's culture. It's like funny articles, and like of course there's going to be women, but it's not as tasteless.
Well, that's why I read the magazine, is for the articles and the comics.
And it's very, very tasteful, very classy. And so the website rebranding kind of brought in a new avenue to kind of seek out some new brands. So Playmates who had aspirations or hobbies that they wanted to pursue, Playboy was like, hey, if you wanna do something, just let us know. And I was just like, Gamer Next Door. And they were like, oh yeah, that's good idea. Gaming, Playboy, oh what? And so it's kind of I've been working this brand up from nothing, and I'm really glad that over the last month we've had a lot of really positive reception, and I feel that Amelia and I are really proving ourselves.
You are, and you got a lot of great content up there. So of course you can find it on Playboy.com, and you also have your YouTube channel, youtube.com/Playboy. You can find your list there under Gamer Next Door.
Actually, the Gamer Next Door actually has their own YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
And it's so new, we don't actually have a direct link.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I've been there before.
So if you the way that I actually look for my own channel is I look for the most popular one, which is the Splatoon video. It's like Gamer Next Door, Splatoon. Oh, there's the video. There's my channel. Now I know how to get there.
So let's get to the good stuff, with the Band-Aids.
Oh.
Why do you have Band-Aids on your hand? I'm assuming it's games related.
No, actually, it's not game related. It's actually quite humorous because I didn't know how to be a girl 2 years ago. Not gonna lie, I didn't know how to do makeup or hair, and so these red marks on my hand. This is the hair that This is the cost for this hair, guys. I did this for you.
Was that a curler gone awry?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's called a curling wand. Actually,
okay.
It doesn't have the clamp that holds your hair down for you,
okay.
So you have to use your finger.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it.
Kyle does my hair before the show. I don't even know.
I can tell it. It's got a very Kyle feel to it.
Yeah. So how's your audience? I mean, how do you know what? So you mentioned Splatoon, and you did Call of Duty. Those are both shooters, but very different shooters.
Yeah.
So all sorts of opportunities if you're a brand in the game space that you have to choose to cover this versus covering this. How do you make those decisions? What do you think are appropriate games for the Playboy audience?
The way that my audience is kind of following me is, ever since the beginning, I told myself I'm gonna be me, and if I'm successful for being me, yay. But I'm not gonna compromise my integrity or anything like that. So if you go back through my Instagram or anything like that, it's goofy shit. It's, it's me being a dork. It's me being me. And, I kind of garnered this following that, followed me because I was amusing. And so, when I think about new content, it's like, I want to do that. And then I'm like, what fun way could I engage my followers if they don't know the game or if they don't know? And that's why, one of my favorite thing about the Xenoblade review is, just taking something that, a normal person would go like, why is there no way to turn off that VO? Just putting a funny twist, and, nobody is going to come to Gamer Next Door to be the top information, hub. You're not going to come get, the latest gadgets and gizmos. It's going to be, two girls who love games and have fun playing them.
I believe you gave Xenoblade 10 out of 10 meows.
Yes. Yes, we actually filmed that that's filmed in my bedroom, and my cat Squirrel would just not get off of me. I was like, Squirrel, we're filming, and she's like, you're crossing your legs. That means I'm going to lay in your lap. So we would ask her, and she actually replies. It got cut out, but she replies. I was like, Squirrel, how many meows? And she sat there and meowed for 10 meows.
And stopped at 10?
Yes.
Didn't go to 11?
Yeah, 10 out of 10 meows. But I just decided it was 10 out of 10. It was like 10 meows out of how many?
How do you turn cats away from videos?
You can't. They're a part of the internet. It's like you cut the internet and it bleeds cats.
So you're Miss October 2012?
Yes.
Okay.
And Amelia's Miss June 2012 as well. We're two girls from the same year.
And give her a shout out. So she's not here today, but you co-host a lot of stuff with her.
Yeah. With the rebranding of Gamer Next Door, I pushed really hard to have. She's my best friend. She's my roommate. We do everything together.
Well, that's convenient for shooting if she's your roommate.
It's just like, Amelia, get out of the shower. We need to shoot. And but having her as my right hand lady and is absolutely amazing. And we have. It's just fun. It's just so much fun.
So did you come in, in the October issue? I haven't read your interview, but was it all about games, or did you come in immediately with games, or what was the transition from October 2012 into you working on games?
It's really funny because when you sit down, when you become a playmate, you fill out your data sheet and you sit down with a writer who helps you come up with your the section in the magazine that talks about you, and he was like, if you had to, say one thing that describes you, what would it be? I'm like, video games. And he's like, well, see, there was already a girl in June who talked about video games, so we can't talk about that. And you're like, actual. But, okay, so I couldn't talk about it in the article, but I could talk about it in my data sheet.
Okay, yeah, because guys won't like that, right?
Yeah.
Because the second a guy's reading Playboy and you get to video games, that's when he completely tunes out.
Just one mention. And it was really funny because when my issue came out, the PR company or the PR for Playboy, she was on maternity leave, so they actually hired an outsourced PR company who shot out this PR blast that I had no control over, and it actually got picked up by Kotaku, and they were like, League of Legends has made it because a playmate plays it. They didn't even interview me. They were making fun of me because of the PR blast, and it's like I was already, before my foot was even out the door, I was already being disregarded because I was a playmate. It's like I was a gamer before I could even tie my own shoes, just because I became a playmate does not delegitimize the fact that I play video games.
What was the first game you played before you tied your shoes?
I used to watch my dad play Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo, and one day he just went out on a limb and he handed me the controller, and I was hooked. It was the first game I ever played. When I was like 5 and 6, I knew how to do that first sequence where you try to save the princess and you have to go to the cathedral and the first dungeon. I knew all that from memory at 5 years old. It's like, yeah.
Have you played Link Between Worlds on 3DS?
Of course I beat that. I beat it so fast. I was like, oh my gosh, the map looks just the same. Oh my gosh, it's like 3D, but it's, oh my god, all that. It's just freaking out. It was homage to the humble beginnings of my life.
And I also want to point out, not only for viewers at home, but for any guests that we've previously had on GT Live, Pamela brought snacks. I just want to throw that out there. Pamela brought
You can't
Kit Kat minis.
You
over
can't
here.
stream without snacks. It's kind of the golden rule of Twitch.
Because, you know, I don't know if any of you guys are jealous that we have a Playmate here on GT Live, but I'm super happy that we have Kit Kats here on GT
Yeah,
Live.
no, that's
I'm
actually
really
the
excited
sell
about it.
point. I told them, you know, I'd bring food, and then they were like, yeah! We didn't want to work with you before, but you got snacks.
So, I'm unfortunately going to be eating Kit Kat for the rest of the show.
I thought,
So, have you played Shovel Knight?
I have not played it because I don't own it.
Ah, I played it on 3DS. And you seem to be a fan. You seem to kind of be leaning towards Nintendo. You did your Xenoblade review. You went to your Splatoon preview. Excellent on the 3DS.
Same goes with the internet. You cut the internet, it bleeds cats. You cut me, I bleed Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Nintendo is where I began. They've never steered me wrong, and you know, so huge Nintendo fan. But I branched out. I have other interests, but you know, you say Nintendo and my ears perk up.
So going to the couch, what is the preferred console for Shovel Knight? Is it irrelevant? I mean, is there a better console to play the game on?
They did some neat things on the Wii U, but yeah, I don't know if it really matters overall. I mean, it's pretty good. Do you have any preferences? You've been playing it a bit now with the controller.
I like the PS4 D-pad.
Yeah?
It's all right, but you know, it's whatever. I like the Wii U version.
Would you play with the analog stick if I forced you to?
Oh yeah.
Because I was thinking about that earlier when I was playing. I'm like, oh yeah, the analog stick control. I'm like, I just can't play a side-scrolling platformer with an analog stick unless it's like specifically built for it.
It just feels weird, right?
Yeah, D-pad all the way.
Yeah.
But the 3DS version is really great, actually, not to like, you know, pimp out the 3DS version because we are currently playing the PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah.
But it does have a really interesting Street Pass feature where there's a little platforming area and you jump around to grab coins and then you record that performance and then when you Street Pass against people, they try to do it.
I've been actually pretty excited about this game, but it's just, you know, starting a new brand is like everything explodes and...
Right. For me, it was Comic-Con. It was Comic-Con last year when I finally had time to play a game, and I was like, oh, I'm taking the train down. This will be perfect.
Yeah.
And the great thing about 3DS, it's all digital now, so you can download stuff. And so downloaded it right before I left and played it. What happened? Kyle died, passed off the controller to Ellis. What happened, Kyle?
We've died 5 times at the same exact spot at this point.
Kyle decided
It's
to
been
be a
5
smart
times.
idea to ruin the checkpoint and break it to get more money. And
then
it's really costing us
It's
now.
been a very costly decision. It's really ruined us. I gotta be honest.
So how much money do you get from those? Because I didn't realize that's what I was doing. I
get
was
a lot
just
of
like,
money.
oh, look at these things I can smash. Whee! And I just kept smashing them going through the game, not realizing I was destroying my checkpoints.
It's very worth it. You get a ton of money from it.
Interesting
smashing
risk-reward
checkpoints.
mechanic.
Oh yeah, it's
That you're knocking those out. So the couch universally loves Shovel Knight.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
We've given Shovel Knight a lot of praise. We awarded it highly in our Game of the Year awards. We recently it appeared on a top 10 countdown. It was number 2 on our crowdfunded games. Excellent crowdfunded game. What is special about Shovel Knight? There's so many games that you just played Axiom Verge, Blood. Like there's a lot of retro-ish, pixel-based side-scrolling platforming games that are based off of games that we love them in the NES and SNES. What is it about Shovel Knight?
Shovel Knight doesn't wink. That's what I love about Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is its own game that's sincere about what it is for itself, whereas a lot of, I think, modern 8-bit games are just like making references and things, and Shovel Knight is just about sincerity. Shovel Knight believes in himself.
And also, too, I noticed something with really popular games. They always have a blob mob. Like, there's a bad guy that is a blob or a drop or, like Ragnarok and Dragon Quest, and, there's all kinds of blobby things. There's blobs. I saw the blobs.
One of the first.
This is our least favorite blob right here. This is the one.
Yeah.
That's our guy. We just let him die now. Okay. All right, Brad, you got this. You got this. Come on, man.
No, that
Again.
He didn't have it, actually.
Oh my god.
Word on the street is he did not have
No,
that.
did not have it.
Oh man, that's
Confirmed.
six.
This is amazing.
That's 6.
That's
See,
six to
he's
the
wishing
same
that we were
kid.
like, deep in a conversation and really not paying attention to
Yeah.
that, but the world was watching that, Brad.
Yeah, look at the little fire blood.
Brutal. Yeah.
So just to specifically do a shout out to the PlayStation 4 version of Shovel Knight has Kratos in it. And are you excited for guest stars in platforming games, or are you just a huge God of War fan?
No, I just love God of War. I'm not gonna. I really did like the Xbox exclusive Battletoads. I thought that was really cool. But when I heard Kratos, for starters, I was like, oh, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
I love Kratos, but he's like my man crush. I gotta represent.
Yeah, Kratos doesn't do anything mean to anybody. He just walks around handing
Yeah,
flowers out.
yeah.
He just
And
It's all about shaking
passionately
hands and
makes
giving
love
hugs.
to women. He doesn't,
It's true.
he doesn't do anything.
It's very kind and respectful.
Yeah,
Kratos.
yeah, consensual.
Right.
Consensual.
Exactly. But Kratos is in this game. He is, or like maybe like 70%, 80% of the way through the game. Like you do gotta get through there, and judging by performance so far,
No, we're gonna get there.
We're gonna get him.
We're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there in like 2 years.
Okay, so do you have 2 years? Did you have any plans for tonight, Pam?
No,
Okay,
no.
we appreciate that. Yeah, so Kratos is in the game, so that is the rough goal. Whoa, do we have that ability yet? What is that? You just like went invisible and went past that guy? Oh, okay.
We're cheesing.
That's not cheesing.
That is an ability
That's
in the game.
strategy.
Yeah.
So the game does not wink, but it does cheese.
Yeah.
Pamela, one thing that knocked me out about this game is this game is very emotional.
Oh yeah.
The story in this game is extremely epic.
I'm
Like,
already emotionally engaged.
but like the dialogue is incredible, and even like little small touches, like when dialogue windows pop up, like some of the words will shake, or
Yeah.
like they'll have little animations and stuff like that to suggest emotion. And it is a very epic story, the quest to rescue Shovel Knight's Shield Knight. Interesting you use the word wink. I mean, it is a cheeky game. I mean, it does have jokes, it does have asides, and the aesthetic is based on, it does have a Mega Man aesthetic. Is there perhaps another franchise that it's most similar to?
Oh, I'd say most similar to Mega Man for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
actually.
very similar to Mega Man. I feel like.
It's got a lot of influences going on in there. I mean, there's like, Zelda 2 references, there's kind of Castlevania bits, there's just, the pogo thing from DuckTales, it's all over.
Yeah.
But it kind of owns all that stuff, like Kyle was saying. It's like, it's not just doing it for reference's sake, they just got great mechanics. Yes, checkpoint!
Don't break it.
We got it. We got past our
break it,
pig.
don't
Just
break
don't
it.
destroy the checkpoint now.
He's gonna do it on accident.
Don't
Watch
do
him
it.
go.
Okay, I'll let it stay.
So it reminds us of Mega Man. How would you compare this game as far as difficulty is concerned to Mega Man? What's the most difficult Mega Man of the traditional NES Mega Men?
One is the
One's
hardest.
the hardest?
Yeah.
I think 2's probably the easiest Mega Man after.
But 2's like the best out of like 1 through 5, right?
Because it's the easiest.
3's my favorite.
That's
I
why it's
love
the best.
3.
People are like, yeah, I beat Mega Man 2, and everybody's like, everybody beat Mega Man 2.
So how would you compare this game in difficulty to the first Mega Man?
Oh, I'd put it closer to regular Mega Man difficulty. But
Okay.
you never set back to the beginning with this. It's you're progressing. It still has, it's still a modern game.
Does the fact that we are currently streaming the game for 300 people, does that, are you afraid of that?
I'm always.
Does that
sweaty
make this
playing
more
game.
difficult?
No,
Or the
I would
hand
be
sweat?
sweaty regardless. Yeah, this is a nonstop sweat game. Look at this part. Look at this part, Brandon. Like, if we can go full screen on this, watch what we have to do right here. This is so nerve-wracking. Here we go. I had it the first
Were you
time.
going to get treasure or something? That
it
wasn't natural level progression. You were just
optional.
greedy there.
So like, there's little like flame fish that I was gonna have to like hop across. It was.
You got him on the way there.
I got him on the way there.
So we
Don't
are
go back,
trying to
that's
get to
just for the
Kratos. We are essentially attempting to speed run this game, Kyle, and you are running off, getting treasure in the corner,
I won't do it again.
jumping on flamefish,
No problem.
and wasting everybody's time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I understand what's going on.
At least he's being amusing while doing it.
He is being amusing.
Yeah.
Someone else is also amusing, Mr. Ian Hank, who's in the control booth. We're gonna jump to Mr. Ian Hank
we on
there.
this?
How are you doing? Whoa, we got like an aerial
Hi.
angle here.
Yeah, I
Whoa.
We
changed.
got an action angle.
I changed it so you can see the action. Yeah, what's happening in the booth.
Action is the word that I would use right now, Ian. There's just
Oh.
nothing but action going on
It
in
is
there.
high octane in here
Um,
all the time.
So I want to compare your wonderful enthusiasm towards Kratos' inclusion in Shovel Knight to Ian not being a fan.
Oh.
Not a fan of
Kratos?
Of Kratos. Likes Kratos, I'm assuming.
Oh, okay.
It likes some PlayStation exclusives, doesn't like others. He's a very strange individual, but not a fan of Kratos being in there. So explain yourself, Ian.
Well, here's the thing. It kind of flies in the face of everything Bosman was just saying. It doesn't wink. It's its own universe. It's cohesive in the context and all that stuff. And I like that about Shovel Knight a lot. I really like this game. Kratos being in it bothers me because it's like, he's not a part of this world. He's not in it.
Well,
He's
if you
just
think about it
Kratos.
this way, if they hadn't announced that Kratos was in the game and you're just going through the game like normal, discovering all the little treasures and things like that, suddenly you're like, is that Kratos? Oh my God, that's Kratos! And then you'd freak
Yeah.
out about it. But since everybody knew about it beforehand, now people are looking for it and thinking about
But
it
I'd
before
freak
it
out.
happens.
I'd freak out about it like is that Kratos?
Naysayer, always
You can't,
naysaying.
and not a lot of people are just gonna like stumble across Kratos. Like I watched a video showing like,
Yeah.
how you unlock Kratos, and like you got to know it's there.
Yeah.
Like,
When I
mean,
learned that, it bothered me less. Like I thought he would just like show up. Here's Kratos. You have to like go out of your way. It's a special
Right.
thing. Like that, it bothers me less after learning that.
well, thank goodness. I also want to point out that I don't know if you've noticed, viewers at home, but Ian has figured out how to do picture-in-picture with the TriCaster.
We figured it out. We figured it out. I can't figure out how to make my audio not peak, but no, I just fixed it. But yeah, we figured it out. We got him.
Look at that,
Picture
bam.
right there. Look at that. Look at those guys on the couch. They are just having the time of their
Yes.
lives. And
We
they
need
died.
to stop talking about the times they're having. They died.
Oh
Yeah.
no, they need to die as many times as they
No
possibly
pressure.
can.
No pressure. No pressure.
Oh, the viewers love it. Okay, so I'm now being joined by Mr. Kyle Bosman.
Hello.
Kyle, what the hell are you doing on stage?
I'm here to do number 11.
So I prepped you on what number 11 is. Our viewers at home, of course, know because we've been doing the show for several weeks now. So number 11 is the number that unfortunately did not make our top 10 list for the week. Our top 10 list is one that I gotta admit I'm fond of. This week we're doing top 10 jerks. So top 10 jerks in games.
Yeah.
So now every game's gotta have a jerk. There's gotta be somebody that you're fighting, but these are people that just go above and beyond to just really be mean, to just really like try to antagonize, the hero. And aren't just like, oh, I'm just gonna go destroy the world or go rule the world or become like supremely powerful. It's like, no, I'm gonna bug you about it.
Yeah.
So you're my favorite jerk, Kyle. What was your number 11?
Number 11 it's foolish that number 11 is not even in our top 10. Is the rival from Pokemon. Red and Blue in particular. This little guy right there. You can name him whatever you choose. Professor Oak says, oh, what was his name again? And you choose his name.
Which seems weird. Why do you think they did that?
I think because basically most RPGs, you name your characters, I think, to make it more personal. They want your rival to be a personal issue. Because basically, the rival's a weird thing. The rival represents the type of Pokemon player who only cares about numbers, who only cares about strength and leveling up. Guys, go back left and use your fishing pole. Okay. The rival like is just talking about like your Pokemon as things as opposed to Pokemon as creatures, which is what you're supposed to feel. So he represents that side of it, and I think that's what makes him a jerk. He's just designed to be a jerk.
How does he get away with that? Like, how did that, isn't he
He
being
comes
taught?
from he comes from a privileged family. His grandfather's Professor Oak.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's actually related to Oak.
Oh, yeah.
How does Oak put up with that?
And bigger question is, how does Oak not know his name?
Right,
Like,
that's a fair
what?
question.
You're related to me. What's your name again?
Oak's got a lot of this.
And then I
line.
know, and I'm like, oh, Professor Oak, it's actually
Yeah, I've never met him before, but here's his name.
Yeah. And so, I mean, basically, yeah, it's that. He's a privileged kid. He says "smell you later." That's one of his lines. That's like his catchphrase.
Smell you later.
It's exactly that, which is, I mean, absurd in itself. And Professor Oak just puts up with that. He does. He just like lets it roll. He's like, "That's my grandson, but I love him
So,
too."
the Pokemon Red and Blue was designed in Japanese, right?
Yes.
The original game was designed. Was it "Smell You Later" in Japanese?
I can't.
Do
say
we
it
know
right
what the
now.
original?
I did wonder. I was
his
wondering
original
that earlier
catchphrase
today because I wonder if it's like, doesn't Roger Klotz say "smell you later"? Doesn't it seem like a real like? Roger Klotz is from Doug.
Oh, okay.
Like, hey, Doug, funny. Smell you later. Everyone in chat, let us know what Roger Klotz says. It might be "smell you later."
Or other people that say "Smell You Later."
It's funnier than "see you later," certainly. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So what's weird? He's just a jerk. He's a jerk of this world. Everyone else in this world is like very nice to you in Pokemon, which is weird. He is the one who's like looks at Pokemon like the mean kid on the bus looks at Pokemon.
But is he specifically set up as like your rival? Like, how do you know he's your rival? Like
Brandon.
right off the bat.
Brandon.
So if I'm naming him, what if I'm like, oh, I'll name him after my brother or something, and then like I get halfway through the game and it's like, whoops, I should have named him something
Have you
evil.
never played Pokemon?
I have not.
Not played one.
I'm done.
We can't talk. I've tried to talk Brandon into it. He won't do it. Brandon, the moment after you pick up, imagine this. Imagine
Right.
you're about to start your Pokemon adventure.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
There's a buddy with you. You just named him.
Okay.
Whatever. And he says, oh, Brandon, you pick first. Okay? So you're like looking at the Pokemon. You're like, oh, I like this one. This kid who grew up in the same town as you, Professor Oak's grandson, he says, oh, I'm just going to pick the best Pokemon who will beat Brandon. He doesn't even care what his is. He just wants to beat you right now, and that's the Pokemon he chooses. So that's his entire mentality, you know.
So he bases his Pokemon off the one that you choose?
Yeah.
And then you
So-
show him up by kicking his ass with the Pokemon that has actually a deficit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And so that's you're learning how to play Pokemon straight off the bat. You learn that type disadvantage isn't going to hurt you the whole way.
So you're a Pokemon fan.
Oh my goodness. if I didn't have the Triforce tattoo, I would have a Pokeball tattoo.
So I have a question for you then, actually. I feel like this rival in Pokemon Red and Blue, you hated him, right?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they've really lost that as Pokemon's gone on. Do you miss that? Do you miss, like, because now they're just like, hey, that was a good fight. You want to play again? And they're like super nice.
Yeah.
Do you miss that element of somebody mean in the Pokemon
Well,
world?
I feel like that's a whole nother conversation to have because gaming has taken different turns, good and bad. And one of the ways that turned away was, you know, the rivals are no longer like you're not like, oh man, I hate that guy. It's like, oh, you know, because it's just like I battled you.
And then there's like, oh, you were super good. It's
Yeah.
like, don't say that.
Oh my gosh, that was a great battle. Did you know that you can catch Pokemon with Pokeballs? And it's just like, but the part that because I was like 11 years old when I first played Pokemon Yellow, and you know, different game, red and blue, and you know, but you meet your rival, and I'm immediately like, you're a dick. Like you are just mean. Why are you being mean to me? I just met you. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Smile. I hope my character's smiling and being polite, but
I'm going to
this
say
guy's
no. I
just-
think your character has a tough time with him, too.
Yeah. I'm gonna, it's the only time I've ever been like, I don't like you. I'm gonna, like, go out of my way to use the moves that I would normally save. You know, like, it's got 5 PP or whatever.
Yeah.
and
Your
I'm gonna-
blizzards.
I'm gonna blow that out because I just want to take him out. He's so mean. I don't like him.
Yeah.
But new
Which is good
Pokemon-
for a game, I think. You know what I mean? Like, you need somebody to hate in a Pokemon game, and now you don't hate anyone.
Yeah.
So you haven't had that. So I just thought it was interesting when we were picking potential entries for a countdown this week. You were like, oh yeah, rival from Pokemon. And I'm like, oh, just from the series? You're like, no, Red and Blue.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, there hasn't been someone that you dislike more than that first rival in any of the Pokemon games released since 88, 89, 90? When did this come out?
96.
96, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
96
Okay.
is when it came out.
89,
Thank
man.
you.
When did the Game Boy come out? Wow,
89
90s.
is Tetris. Yeah,
Yeah.
89 is when
90s.
Tetris came
Yeah.
out.
Oh, okay. Wasn't the 80s though.
But they transitioned from, you know, creating a character that you hate to the point where it's like, that character's a pretty boy. I don't like him because he's a pretty boy. Where it's just like their intro is like them flipping their hair, and it's just like, I really think it's kind of weird that you care about how you are matching your Pokemon. You know, like the outfit and like pretty boys. They're just
So part of people like to identify with their Pokemon in the Pokemon world. When you got to be more flexible than that.
yeah.
You have to be willing. You got to be versatile. If you're just like, nah, I'm just into flying types, you can't really get through the game that way.
So
Challenge accepted.
So when should I jump into Pokemon? I mean,
Now.
should I go back
right
and
now,
play Red
here,
and Blue?
Here's
Like,
my DS. You just play.
well, we don't. I have to host a show.
Look
Well,
at this
maybe
case.
when it finishes. I do have my own 3DS. Nice, yeah. So yeah, if anybody doubted
very
like her
legit. Look at
Nintendo
this.
fandom,
And it's the Majora's Mask 3DS XL, the new one.
Pretty classy.
So what was the order? So there's a Pokemon card game, there was Pokemon on Game Boy, and there was a Pokemon television show. What was the order of those launching? What did we get first? With the card game first?
I think it.
Actually the Game Boy game first?
Before the card game?
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating. Okay.
Yeah, in Japan it wasn't like when it launched, it wasn't a huge deal.
Yeah.
When it was just like Pokemon Green and Red,
Okay.
is what it launched as in Japan. Like it wasn't a huge deal, and then it just kind of grew and just exploded.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering, so Team Rocket is the jerks on the show, right?
They're jokes in the game too, actually. Jerks in the game.
Team Rocket's in the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Ash is not in the game.
Ash is no.
No.
Interesting.
He's a guy who's like Ash.
Oh, okay.
He's you. You name him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You would name him
you-
Brandon if you play the game.
I would name my
Brandon
rival.
wouldn't
What?
fit though.
You would name Ash Brandon.
You would be
Oh, right.
Brando, because
Right,
Brandon.
characters wouldn't fit.
Yeah, character wouldn't fit.
Brando
I was
works.
like, I'm lucky. I have Pam.
Yeah.
It fits. It works.
Uh-huh.
You have Kyle. I got a long name like a sucker.
Brando isn't bad though.
Brando's
Brando
good.
sounds like a cool kid to train
Brando
Pokemon.
Calrissian.
Yeah.
So, well, I just wonder if if the game came first, I wonder if the whole just concept of Team Rocket was based on this rival, of this idea to like you need to have an antagonist. You need to have that person that represents the way you don't do this, like the way you don't treat Pokemon, the way you don't challenge other people, the way you don't compete.
Brandon, I'm so happy we finally get this opportunity to talk about Pokemon. So
Fine, okay.
I've been waiting.
This guy's pretending like we never talk about Pokemon, but it's like the second I was like, oh look, here's Kyle Bosman on
You've
stage.
never-
Like everyone chats like, oh god.
you never
we're talking
asked
about Pokemon.
a question about Pokemon. So here's the thing. Your rival does exist on the show. He's named Gary Oak. His name is Gary.
Okay.
And you hate Gary on the show.
Mm-hmm.
He also says smell you later on the show.
Smell you later, Ash.
Yeah, he sounds exactly like that. He has cheerleaders who support him. Meanwhile, Ash is just pathetic. He doesn't have that. And he's always ahead of Ash, and Ash is just like, oh, I gotta catch up. I gotta get as good as he is. Never beats him until pretty late in the series. And so Team Rocket is also in both. But I'm like sympathetic to Team Rocket. I don't even think they're jerks.
Yeah. You kind of fall in love with them throughout at least in the TV series. In the game, I'm just like, you're adults. Like, why don't you just like take away his Pokeballs and like hold a gun to his face and say, give me your stuff.
Right.
You're like, I have to bind myself by these rules, these laws of Pokemon. I have to do Pokemon battle and then relinquish myself because I lost. That's how it goes.
And they give you money.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And Wally, here's some money too.
Here we go. Oh my god. Just take my money.
Oh, I got a lot to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
You learned
so
a lot though.
I did. I've learned a lot. We've grown a lot in
Do
the
you know
last
what
10
Pokemon
minutes.
stands for?
Pocket monsters.
Nice! Oh my gosh,
Right?
round of applause, internet.
Okay,
Let's
I'm
go.
gonna end that conversation there before I screw up a question. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next segment. Before we do, I just want to remind everybody that we're giving away codes for the game that is behind me, Shovel Knight. Elyse, Chibi Weezy. I just realized that is her name, Chibi Weezy. I was like, who's this crazy Chibi Weezy person? That's like, dropping rhymes in the chat. No, you're not. We're giving it with what?
Oh, the codes are spoken for. Is that what you said? Okay, no more codes.
What?
Don't
Did I
talk to
miss
Chibi
this?
Weezy anymore. Apparently, she's all out of codes. Okay. What's the incentive for questions if we're out of codes?
Because he's in the back of the booth, so Elyse is like,
Satiate your curiosity.
it's like,
Ask
what?
questions.
There's Timmy fell down the well. What, Elyse?
I suppose I can like you.
So just want to make sure that you send your questions and ask wonderful questions for Pamela that she will answer at the end of the show.
Only wonderful.
But we are at the midway point in the show, if you can believe it or not, 30 minutes into GT Live, and it is time to watch a badass trailer. Today's badass trailer is one that we got this morning, and you know you're going to have a badass trailer for a game that has 2 wars in the title. Not 1, but 2. Total War Warhammer.
Wow.
Not only has their announcement trailer, but has an awesome, badass cinematic announcement trailer. And this is epic for this series. This is the first time they've done anything licensed. This is the first time they've done anything that's not historical. First time they've ever done fantasy. And this is a huge thing for Warhammer. Warhammer, what was our Regicide? Was that the exclusive
Yeah, the
we
other
got today?
one's Regicide. That's the turn-based one.
And there's another one. There's one that was like a Rat Kingdom or something. Is that that one?
Vermintide.
Yeah, there's Vermintide. There's all sorts of odds going on in Warhammer
Vermintide
right
might
now.
be the best one. We'll see.
Warhammer is extremely pervasive in the games industry right now, and the 2 games they've already announced were not enough. We got another one today, Total War Warhammer, badass trailer. Check it out.
Almighty Sigma, savior of the Empire, give me strength. For though I dedicated my life to eradicating it, it feeds, it grows, devouring all. There must be a final answer to halt its advance. But the tide of war seems endless. The brutal, unthinking bloodlust of the greenskins, the twisted ambitions of the undead. And though the brave dwarven kingdoms stand with us, truly, what hope is there? Against countless horrors that cannot be named, let alone fought by mortal means. And yet all this is nothing before what is to come. It whispers and roars in. The dark it is. Against us it is unstoppable. I am unstoppable. I see it now. The beasts that will devour the world.
All right, that's a badass trailer.
It was really awesome.
I was just commenting before that it feels like Warcraft. Feels like it could be a replacement potentially for the sad loss
That
of the
may
Warcraft
have been
RTS.
what you said, but what we retained was not that.
Nothing can replace Warcraft to me.
So speaking of Blizzard has a MOBA coming that they've
Yeah.
actually announced today. The release date, I believe it is June 2nd.
Yay!
The beginning of June. I don't know if it's the 2nd specifically, but the beginning of June.
People keep questioning me, and rightfully so. A few months ago, I was like, yeah, here's the Storm. I don't think it's very good. I don't like it. I am playing it every night now, and I like it a lot. I still think it needs some work, but they've convinced me, Brandon.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised.
Yeah, I played it at PAX, and I really enjoyed it. It's a gorgeous game. I mean, everything
yeah.
that
It is
everything
really
that Blizzard touches is just like one of the prettiest games in the genre. And we have already established that you were a fan of MOBAs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, one of my one of the reasons that I actually got my foot into the video game industry is because Riot recognized that Kotaku article and saw like, oh, she plays League of Legends. Let's have her come out to the World Championship. And so they flew me out to the World Championship, and I've been playing League of Legends since beta. So not that I'm like the best. I'm only gold 5. Like I'm not amazing, but I'd like to say I know him. I know him a little bit, but I've been in the Heroes of the Storm alpha for quite a while, and one thing that I feel that Blizzard has going for them is their lore. Characters that people love. It's just like, oh my God, Sylvanas came out. Oh God, I can't wait to play Sylvanas. And everybody's just like, this character, like with League of Legends, like, oh, the character looks cool. Like, oh, he's like a big guy. He's got a beard, and he's, that's cool. But now it's just like, when are they gonna come out with this character? And they've already got the lore. They've already got the story. They've already got the fan craze. Now they just need to build a game catered around that fan love, and they've gold.
Two things. I think she brings up a really good point. I think that is something that initially drew me to Heroes of the Storm, because playing as Arthas like that in a MOBA is sort of a dream come true. But I'm worried. They already have a lot of the big characters. They already have Arthas. They already have Illidan. They already have Kerrigan. Is it going to get to a point where, Blizzard hasn't made that many games? Are they just going to run out of heroes? I guess they have Overwatch coming up, but...
It's kind of the same issue I think that Hearthstone has, where it's just like there's only so many characters that they can bring out. It's like fun to have Garrosh Hellscream as a card, but then it's like, well, then we're done.
Whereas League of Legends, they just keep making up new characters.
And speaking of League of Legends lore, have you seen the trailers that they've been releasing, like the story-based stuff?
Yeah.
They're like kind of interesting to follow.
Yeah, I like I like that they're trying to kind of like Blizzard's trying to take after Riot by making this MOBA, but Riot's trying to take after Blizzard by trying to create lore and story that people want to love and be passionate about. But it's one of those things where it's like, that's a good idea. What's up with the art style? It's I know you guys can do better. That's one of my pet peeves with the cinematics.
Did you feel like when you first started Heroes of the Storm, as somebody who had played League of Legends extensively beforehand, like coming to it, it just felt foreign in a way that was kind of hard to get your head around? Shared experience, not having a store, games only lasting 20 minutes. Was that hard for you at first, or did you think, no, they're going in a different direction and this is cool? Like, what was that process like for you?
Well, I wanted to keep my mind as open as possible, because I wanted to experience the game with no predisposition. Like, I can't, like, it's not going to be better than League of Legends, and then that just destroys your experience. You have to go in with a completely open slate, and I really enjoyed the game mostly because of, you know, it had the Warcraft feel. It had all the feels, and plus I like the outside mechanics. I like the additional objectives and like the little camps that you fight, and it gives you an advantage, and you know, things like that. Really unique, and it makes the gameplay really unique. And you know, when you play Heroes of the Storm for a while and you go back to playing League of Legends, it's almost, you know, it's almost kind of basic, you know. It's just like there's one objective, and you know, the jungle's all crazy now, so yeah, it's just, you know, basic. But Heroes of the Storm is really engaging. Lots of things to do.
It's cool because within the first 5 minutes of the match, it's very possible that you could have already been in 2 or 3 or 4 big team fights. Like the match starts and you can get into the thick of things because you already have all of your abilities, or all of your abilities except your ultimate, and you know, you already have to capture watchtowers, or very quickly you have to worry about the objectives. And I love that immediacy, that you don't just feel safe in lane for a while. I think that's
also like that you know, the way that you build your character based on skills and things like that does not rely upon building gold and items and, you know, like snowballing. It doesn't really think it applies to Here's the Storm as much as it does League of Legends. You know, people can't get so crazy good. It's just like, well, you know, he has an ability that I didn't choose, and that now I can work my way around at, instead of like, oh my god, he has 15,000 gold worth of stuff that I don't.
I can't possibly catch up.
Exactly.
And at first I was kind of frustrated that they didn't have a surrender button, because I've played Dota matches where like they've been going on for 90 minutes, but I knew I was going to lose 45 minutes in, and so I just was wasting all this time. But they said they were really hesitant at Blizzard to include a surrender button because comebacks happen so frequently. The who is in control changes so often, and they're absolutely right. Now that I've kind of played a lot more games, there have been times where I was like, yeah, we're for sure gonna lose, and then we triumphantly win.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's absolutely because of the talent system that's possible.
Talent system, no items. It actually, the teeter doesn't totter as much. You know, it's super fine line. You could be losing 1 second and immediately be winning the next.
You just sort of have that rally cry because teamwork is so important. If you can just convince your team, like, hey, we got to do this, you have a chance. That's cool.
So before we move on to Q&A, just to bring the conversation back to its roots, what is it about MOBAs? What initially attracted you to the genre?
What initially attracted me was the fact that, you know, with MOBAs, it's just like one game, done, you know, and you can take the exact same elements, you can take the same characters, you can take the same bosses, the same objectives, and have a completely different game every time. And that's so much fun to me. Like, I could decide to take Arthas in a completely different way and have a completely different game, and that's absolutely amazing, and I love that. And plus they last 20 minutes, so it's just like, shoot, I got 20 minutes to kill before I have to leave. I'm gonna play a game. And that's how it goes.
So if Gamer Next Door ever gets a chance to cover any MOBA, like, you're just gonna pounce on that?
I'm gonna be at the Heroes of the Dorm event this Sunday.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'll be there too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You guys
Yeah.
So before we move on to the Q&A, we got to get back to the couch. Couch, we're not getting to Kratos. There's no way, guys.
No,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
There's no way.
It's gonna happen.
Okay, Brad says no.
Yes,
Kyle,
yes.
for some reason,
Believe in
is,
me.
Is,
We're gonna get
is
there.
enthusiastic. He believes. Why do you believe, Kyle? Are you just a dreamer at heart, or?
It's true, I'm a dreamer at heart, but we're getting good is the thing.
Okay.
We've
How
made
many
our
bosses
mistakes.
have we downed so far?
1,
No.
2.
We were like 4 bosses.
Word
man.
on the street is you need to be
4
80%
bosses?
through the game, and you guys
We
are
beat.
1 boss.
2 on stream, I think.
We're good. We got this.
What do you say, Elyse? You think it's gonna happen?
It's not gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
This
I'm
couch
telling you, it's
makes
not
it.
gonna happen.
Casuals?
Casuals.
Filthy casuals.
I mean, it could happen like today on April 22nd, but like it's gonna be like 10:15 tonight when we're all gone and the lights are down. And
We'll tweet
everything.
about it.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture when it's
Guys,
finally
it
done.
was awesome. It was really cool.
Should have recorded a clip earlier. We're just gonna have Ian roll it. So it is finally time for the Q&A. Elyse, thank you so much
Thanks for having me.
for.
Hey, Pamela.
How are our questions? Was everybody on their best behavior?
Yeah. Oh yeah. People loving Pamela.
Aw,
Yeah.
thanks.
I guess the first question, which was one of my favorites. Let me find it here.
The first question always vanishes. Everybody always comes up and they're like,
I'm a
"So my
little
first question
nervous.
is."
Oh, sorry.
It's gone.
This is from Sazanami Style. when you win against someone in a game, do you shout Pamela?
No. I'm actually, I feel that if I advocate for anything in video games, it's sportsmanship. So I don't gloat, I don't rub it in. I try, like, I'm the person that's always like, come on, guys, let's work together. We can do this. If we work together, instead of, like, the guy that's like,
Yeah.
and I'm, like, reported. Blocked.
Will you promise me if like somebody makes you angry though, you will keep like Pamela in the back
Oh,
pocket?
oh yeah, absolutely. Actually,
Okay.
that when Playboy starts streaming on Twitch, believe me, that's gonna become my moniker.
Are
Is
you,
that-
are
is
you
that a
guys
goal?
doing that?
Well, yeah, it's going to be twitch.tv/Playboy. We're building our studio at the Playboy headquarters right now, so we haven't started filming yet. But there may be future collabs there with game trailers. Have them come to Playboy headquarters.
Oh man.
There's a special event on Thursdays called Thirsty Thursdays. So you guys could come open bar. There's always really fun stuff. Last week we had a sushi bar where you ate sushi off of a naked woman.
I'm in Pamela.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Every
Nobody else
day
here
at the
likes
Playboy
sushi.
office. It was actually really awkward. Ironically enough, it was really
I
awkward.
can't imagine why.
Because, and it was like, if it was me, I'd be laying there, I'd be like, yeah, take that salmon. You know, like, but she was just like looking at you like,
Sometimes we eat sushi off of Kyle,
oh.
but it has to be like a really special occasion.
Kyle, do you make it as awkward?
Yeah, I'm normally shouting and saying, take that salmon as well.
Good.
Kyle, take that salmon. So let me just get this straight before we move on. Sazanami Style got a code for Shovel Knight on PlayStation 4 for Pamela.
He did not get a code.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I think he's gotten codes.
Because
before.
Pamela's great. I'm not saying Pamela's not good, but I'm just saying,
No.
we want to, I don't know if
That's
this
a
is
good
necessarily a
question.
conversation starter.
But my next question is from Ahab_GT. He wants to know, will Playboy be sending people to E3? And if so, what are you looking forward to? Or what are you least looking forward to?
Yes, Playboy is sending people to E3 because I'm going to be there. And what I'm really excited about is I'm always one of the first people in line at Square Enix's battle challenges. Last year they had Leviathan, the year before they had Ifrit. I'm so excited because, Heaven's Ward is coming out and I will be at the Square Enix booth. Of course, that I'm not going to downplay my love and passion for Nintendo. I will be, last year I got to have the VIP tour. I was so excited about it. I hope to get to do it again, but, Nintendo and Square Enix, that's where I'll be at.
So do you really get to pick your class when those get set up? Because there's some classes in
Final Fantasy
14 that I would
The
not
really
know
cool
what I'm
thing,
doing.
and this is something that I really loved about Final Fantasy 11, that was actually my first delve into any MMOs.
Might
was
as well.
Final Fantasy 11 was that you can choose one character and play all the classes, all the jobs. You just, they made it a lot easier, but you have to quest in Final Fantasy 14, but it's the same thing. Where if you want to be a white mage, you just go unlock Conjurer, and then you can be a white mage after leveling it up for a little bit. And sub-job classes aren't as complicated, but still a little hard. But I love that you can play any class you want.
But if you had your pick, you're at E3, the battle's on the line.
I'm always white mage.
You're always, okay, white mage.
I'm support for life. If my keys were on the table, you'd see that I have my League of Legends support lanyard. I'm always the healer. I'm always support. I'm always like the one that's like, I'm the glue that holds the team together.
That's awesome. Another question unrelated to League, but you mentioned Nintendo a couple minutes ago. The chat seemed to have found out that you have cosplayed, I guess, as Bayonetta, which I saw your glasses and I was like, yeah.
That was my first. Was there more to the question?
Well, Wolfbox10JC just wants to know like your thoughts on the Bayonetta character. There were some questions in the chat like, do you think that she's too like hypersexualized and that kind of thing? I love Bayonetta, and I thought 2 was awesome.
Well, I think one really fun thing about video games is there is no too much. Like Grand Theft Auto, like obviously in real life, hookers and drugs and stealing cars and exploding things is obviously very bad. And overly sexualizing characters is really bad if you overly sexualize a person.
But she's badass.
But she's badass. Like, it's a good combination of all of the above. Like, she is witty, she's smart, she's good, she's bad, she's sexy. And, my delving with Bayonetta was actually my first real collaboration with Nintendo. I went into Nintendo and they're like, we know all about you. And I'm just like...
Did you cosplay as her at E3 last year?
No, that was not me. I did take pictures with her, and it's really funny because I'm a human chameleon, so you put me in cosplay, nobody recognizes me. I cut my hair, my own roommates, my own coworkers walk past me not even recognizing
Bloodworth
me.
is saying someone carried on a conversation with you and was like trash talking you to you.
Yeah, that's actually, I hope this doesn't get back to me, but I was talking to the CEO of Playboy, and he was telling me, he's like, you remind me of a girl, if she just wore a little makeup, and I was just like, do I tell him? But I went to Bandai Namco's Global Gamers Day, and one of the guys was like, you were Bayonetta, weren't you? And I was just like, oh, thanks.
That's what I saw Bayonetta last year at E3, and I was like, that's so badass. And then I thought maybe that was you.
It was
and
the
I was
exact
trying
same
to put
costume.
the connection together.
It was the exact same costume, and I found out very quickly that proportions are everything in costumes custom made for people. Because it was just like the shoes were too big, and it was 50 pounds of hair. Like, that thing is heavy. So if you see Bayonetta cosplaying next
you
year
had the hair?
and anywhere,
It wasn't short Bayonetta?
No. The hair hanging.
Oh, her
She has
wings.
hair hanging from her arms, and it's heavy. It is heavy hair. So you go over and you high five that girl because she is doing a badass job.
Well, technically, the whole outfit is hair. Ben, can we get this confirmed? Isn't the whole thing hair?
Yeah, except for like the amulet she wears, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
As you build your combos, you actually, get more and more unclothed.
Yeah,
Right.
nudity.
Yes. Nudity.
I think it's cool. This is from Cryosticks or Cryosticks. Wants to know what your thoughts are on like increasing nickel and diming with like microtransactions in games like Evolve and Mortal Kombat. Like there was a big controversy with Mortal Kombat where like Goro was $5, though he's such an essential character. Like, do you think that kind of developers are going overboard with microtransactions and DLC and everything they're charging us for after the fact?
I think they're looking at the business model that kind of Riot Games made that business model. It's like a free-to-play game. The only thing that I would kind of look bad at that is if you get some unfair disadvantage or some unfair advantage if you purchase something. Like if you play a game and you get this ultimate armor that has this, and this, and you can't get that unless you pay for it. But if it's a free-to-play game that has like, I can customize my character and you get no benefits in-game, I think it's fine. I mean, like, if I want to spend $5 and get, something cool looking, but when it comes to unlockables, I think that characters should come unlockable. I don't think DLC should be a thing. Like, I think that, you release the game as is, let people play. If you're going to release stuff, release it for free. I mean, it's just...
Or at least, like, make us pay 6 months from now.
Yeah.
Like, not at launch. I mean, my whole thing is, like, DLC at launch always irks me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you
had it done.
This is a concurrent project.
Put it in with the game. It's ready, it's good to go. Just put it in there. It's done.
I picked this question because of Brando.
Oh boy.
Brando.
Yeah, Brando officially. I'm gonna go Brando every single, even if there are more characters available. I'm gonna do Brando.
And then you have to do Brando music note.
Brando music note?
Yeah, there's a music note. If there's an extra space, you put Brando in music note.
In any game or in Pokemon
most
or anything?
games will have like symbols, like you can do like smiley faces and like music notes and things like that. So.
Wait a minute. So you're a fan of the music note, or it's like the proper thing to do?
No,
or...
it was a friendly suggestion.
Oh, okay.
If you would like to do a smiley face.
There's something about me that just says music note?
Oh, well, you're a musical personality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'll buy it. Music note. Music note.
Seraphim wants to know what you think of the Toys to Life trend in video games, and do you partake? So games like Disney Infinity and Lego and
talk about microtransactions.
Amiibo or Skylanders. This is like, and if you don't, how would anyone like convince you? Maybe.
Well, I didn't get into the Amiibo craze mostly because I got one of the figurines that I wanted, not because of the I get to level up my own character and I get to unlock this stuff in this game. It's because I like Link. I want a Link figurine on my desk, and that's what I wanted it for. But with things like these, writing down music.
I got my Brando. Was like that? Brando?
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Brando.
pretty good. It's pretty good. But I like the idea of taking characters that I love and having little figurines or little add-ons and things like that. But more onto that nickel and diming thing. I don't think it should necessitate any future gameplay or make anything more complicated. It's just like, if you want it, it's there. You don't need it.
Yeah, like there are modes in the new Mario Party 10 where it's like you need to have Amiibo to play them, and I was kind of like, I guess, but
yeah.
It still feels like they're pushing it.
Just give me the game as is. Everything's on it. I don't want to have to like wait in line or like when the NES Amiibo was announced, I was like, oh my gosh, Earthbound is one of my absolute favorite games. I would love to have it. Nope, never mind. Like, it's just, it's too much. It's too much.
It's funny you said moron at the beginning of a sentence, and I thought you were like morons who buys those things. I can't stand that.
No. Actually, I commend people who go out and they wait in line for these things because that takes a lot of patience. That's a lot of diligence, and I really commend that. That is so cool.
I saw like a little heartfelt story on Reddit about this guy that worked at a Target, and he put like a new amiibo under the counter and held it for this kid that always comes and never gets them. And I was like, good guy, Target employee.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope he got like 11
He got fired, but still, it was a really nice gesture.
Did he really?
No.
No.
Oh.
But I thought that was so awesome.
I was about to be like, Twitter uproar!
It's like little kids can't go on Amazon at,
Right.
6 a.m. and pre-order their amiibo.
Yeah, no, I did that. I used to be a manager at GameStop, and that was one of the things that I loved doing was like, those big thug guys that come in like, I want to buy 8 Wiis. And I'm like, what do you need 8 Wiis for?
Yeah.
There's a little boy who is wanting nothing more than to play the new Mario Party on his TV at home, and you were denying him that because you want to make a few $100. It's unfair. So I would, be like, I remember you. You come in here all the time. And so I would save them. I'd be like, nope, we're out. Sorry. Peace out.
I worked at a GameStop too, and when like kids would come in and be paying with their change and they didn't have enough, I'd be like, don't worry about it, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, just,
I got this.
Yeah.
I
don't
got
worry
that
about
17 cents.
Yeah. I got you.
Any other GameStop employees in the GT staff? Anyone else at GameStop?
No.
What?
I feel like I'm totally out of the loop here.
Ladies, represent.
We'll get back to that later, but this is like a real talk question.
Wow.
Being from Playboy, do you ever feel like you get treated differently while you're like covering events and games and stuff?
Oh my God, yes. Like it is ridiculous. Like I have to, and I tell this story a lot, and I never tell it enough. That's the unfortunate thing. Is when I was doing a press tour for when my issue released, and everybody were like, "Oh, not that I don't deny that you play video games, but I'm gonna do a really quick pop quiz just to, test ya." And it's just like, oh God, Pong was the first game, just like all these like, like really stupid questions. I shouldn't have to tell, like, when I walk up to, like a musician, I'm like, not that I don't doubt you're a musician or anything, but I'm gonna need you to read this music that I have provided for you. Like when someone says they're passionate about something, don't belittle them just because of how they look or where they work or anything like that. Let them have their passion, like, and it's, one of the crazes that happened when Gamer Next Door first started with the relaunch was the Splatoon video, like, oh, Nintendo, what are you doing with the marketing? Oh, Playboy trying to do something new. And then like there would be articles written in favor of us, like, dude, like if you just watch the video, it's actually a good video. Like just watch the video. Everybody was just like, Playboy, Nintendo, oh God. And then they watch the video like, oh, that's actually
But it makes sense for something. I mean, Playboy's been around forever, so it makes sense if you're a brand like that and you've been around forever. Like you've got to grow. You've got to get out and explore new things.
And people have to recognize that there are a lot of stereotypes. There exist many stereotypes in this world, especially against playmates. And one thing I often get told as a playmate is that I'm different. And I enjoy that. Like I am me through and through. I am not somebody else. And don't judge a book by its cover. Like there are a lot of girls out there, guys, gamers. Everybody in the community is judged for one reason or another, and you just need to stop it. Okay, stop it.
Speaking of judging, I have to ask this question because it's game trailers. Do you like Bloodborne from RHD?
Yes, I absolutely love Bloodborne. Oh, so upvote. I got upvoted.
Good. Don't put away the pitchforks.
it just happened, and almost everybody in the office is
actually
completely nuts for it.
that's one of the videos that's going to come out in the next couple of weeks for Gamer Next Door. Is I did cover Bloodborne.
Nice.
Cool. Do we have a little tease? How did you cover it?
Well, they sent me a copy of Bloodborne and said if you want to play it, say something about it. So I did.
Was it a Bloodborne sleepover, or was it?
No, it was just me. Actually, it was really funny because people were like, "It's made by the same people who made Dark Souls," and I'm like,
"Yeah."
But it was actually it was I say in the video that it's actually easier to approach it as an average gamer. It's not. You're still gonna die a lot. It's really hard. There's a lot of grinding. There's a lot of and dying. but it's still really fun and is not as hard as Dark Souls, and that's something I really enjoyed.
Yeah, there were a couple of Bloodborne sleepovers here, so that actually.
You do have to sleep though,
Did
in
you
order for it
guys
to
turn the
technically be a
lights
sleepover.
Yeah.
Was it scary? Was there hot cocoa?
There's always hot cocoa. I wish we always had hot cocoa.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, Kit Kat. You want Kit Kat?
Yes, please. I'm so sick. Oh, I shouldn't touch the communal Kit Kat bag.
Well, it's gonna stay
do it.
here.
Just do it.
I
You
ordered
already
them
did
I'm
touch it.
sorry.
It
I'm
happens.
so
Too far
covered in
gone.
disease.
Too
Thank
far
you,
gone.
Pamela. Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle. Pick one.
I get a lot of guff for this because, you know, everybody's like, Charmander, Squirtle. I actually really like grass type, so I'm going to go with Bulbasaur. Yeah.
Kyle, does that answer pass?
That's a
Does
good
that
answer.
resonate?
Absolutely, yeah.
And does it resonate? Well, and it's really funny because I have, you know, 3 cats, moose, squirrel, and turtle, but you combine squirrel and turtle and it turns into Squirtle.
Did you make that decision naming?
Yeah, well, okay, so my cat Moose, I originally named him Yoruichi from Bleach, but I found out he was a guy, and so I was like, oh shit, I gotta change his name. And so I named him Mini Moose after, you know, Gur's little, like, squishy moose that he has from Invader Zim, and so it just became Moose. And then my friends Michael and Ashley were like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if you got a second squirrel named it Squirrel, like, or second cat named it Squirrel, like Moose and Squirrel, Rocky and Bullwinkle. And so I did that, and then I got a third cat, and I was like, well, I kind of have a theme of naming my cats after animals, and she's a tortoiseshell calico, so turtle. So it wasn't like, Squirtle, I need to combine my cats to make the ultimate cat.
To evolve into
Yeah.
an ultimate cat.
This is going to be the best cat. No, it was actually
If you
just-
came home and found out that they had fused into a double cat, would
I would be really sad because they're
Yeah.
individual kitties, and I love them separately.
If my dog found out there was a cat named Squirrel, it would blow
Squirrel!
his mind. That's like the ultimate for him. I think this question is kind of like a good one to cap it off, maybe. Ahab also wanted to know: are you disappointed that the only Playboy licensed game is a crappy Sims knockoff? I don't really know if it's a good game or not.
Oh yeah, no, it's a really
but
crappy game.
He wants to know what kind of Playboy themed game you would like to see. Like, would it be an action game, a sim, or like a point and click, or like, do you think that there could be a cool Playboy game? Like the Playmates are, I don't know, in a like on a battlefield or I don't know.
I think before Playboy started developing a game, they'd have to work on the reestablishing that they're trying to do, because right now people are stereotyping Playboy, you know, like nudity, sexuality, things like that. You know, like the way that the rebranding is going is going to have to kind of define how people see Playboy before a game would ever be developed. Because right now, the first thing that comes to my mind is, what game would people want to buy from Playboy? And immediately goes to, like, it's got to be something at the mansion and a party and naked girls. And believe me, there are lots of naked girls at the mansion. I'm just going to say it right now. But, you know, like, if it was up to me and, you know, Playboy was to develop a game, it wouldn't be Playboy related at all. Mostly because, you know, if I was going to develop a game, it'd be like, oh, what kind of fun things would I want to do? But that's just me being selfish.
Well, like, you could be a character in it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you should push for that.
I'm already an NPC in WoW.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're what?
Yeah, you can recruit me to your garrison, guys. It's not Pamela Horton. It used to be, but now it's Samantha Thornton. So you can recruit me to your garrison. Check your tavern every day.
Are you familiar with Samantha Thornton?
No, but I will be.
And if you ever go fight Ordos in the Timeless Isle, there's Pamela's Moose Cat rap. Huh? Moose Cat's my character's name, named after my cat. And my name is Pamela.
How did this happen?
Well, I mean...
Did they approach you, or did you...
No, actually, fun fact, the VP of PR at Blizzard used to be the VP of PR at Playboy.
Oh, okay.
So when he found out, Playmates who play video games, you know, like, Blizzard loves you, and so I went for a special tour, and, you know, it's just like, I'm passionate about the games, and, you know, when they call us influencers, when influencers are passionate and vocal about the game, they're like, oh, well, here's a little nudge. And I actually didn't know about the item in game until way after it came out. Someone was like, I'm getting way too many of these Pamela's Moose Cat raps. I thought someone was taking a screen cap from a private server. I was like, oh, that's nice that they came up with what? I went on Wowhead and I was just like, it exists. It does. It's awesome.
Do you think there's a chance for Brando?
Yeah.
Please.
Random musical note to be like,
Brando
a bard
musical
maybe or something?
note?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you passionate about WoW? Are you passionate?
I am passionate about WoW.
Okay, well.
Killing Arthas is one of the most happiest memories of my gaming life, without a doubt. Most happiest.
Yeah, not as
I
big
love
moments
its
for everybody.
Brando musical note.
Yeah, it's got to be Brando musical note. Actually, you'll probably be like a battle pet or something.
Sure, I'll take it.
Brando musical
I'll take
note.
it. Doesn't matter.
You'll be like a dagger horn or something.
I think that is a wonderful question. Yeah, I think there's no better way to live life in games than to be immortalized in an MMO. That's incredible.
I'm honored.
Twice.
I'm absolutely, totally, completely honored.
So, I'll be honest. I could talk to you for 5 hours. You are absolutely wonderful, but we have to wrap up the show. And we would have to talk to 5 hours for these guys to reach Kratos. It's clearly not going to happen.
We're so close.
That's a lie.
Yeah, I don't believe you. Blair doesn't believe you. Blood doesn't believe you. I don't believe you.
Well, if you guys want to have me back on anytime, just let me know.
If you want us to come to Playboy Mansion, let us know.
Game day. Game day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, Game Trailers has been at the Playboy Mansion before. That was one of our when Game Trailers first started. That was like it's all been downhill since there. We were just like, we've arrived. But if you're gonna be around for E3, that'd be really fun to have you on.
Yeah, we'll have a
for
collab.
E3
We're gonna
coverage.
collab. Game Trailers and Gamers Next Door are gonna do something. It's gonna be awesome.
Game Trailers Next Door.
Game Trailers Next Door.
So really quick before we wrap things up, I just want to tell viewers at home all this cool stuff that is happening on Game Trailers this week. Brando musical note. As we talked about before, Top 10 Jerks is our countdown for this week. We have our normal slate of awesome shows: Final Bosman, Tabletop Adventures, GT Time, and Mandatory Update. Mandatory Update, good episode this weekend.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good, real good.
It'll be an episode.
Sweet. Ian, good. It's gonna be hot.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Bonus round is gonna be talking about it's real close to home. It's gonna be talking about the changing face of games media. You were present for that discussion. How did, was that deep? They get into it?
Yeah.
Mr. Shane Satterfield
I
was
thought
there,
this-
who's launching
yeah.
his own website, so I'm sure he had a lot to say about
This
it.
batch of bonus round was awesome. It was Shane, Jovenshire, and Andrea. And actually, things get a little bit, I don't want to say heated, but, it's a lot of, like, traditional media and then new media people talking about YouTube and what's happening. So it's a pretty interesting discussion.
Ben Moore, sometime in 2015, will deliver his review of Pillars of Eternity. We have a couple Just Playeds. There's 2 Just Playeds already. Speaking of Ben Moore, I talked with him about Hearthstone Black Rock Mountain, and I talked with him about State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition, which we will hopefully be streaming next week together. And tomorrow, I will be sitting down with Mr. Michael Huber and talking about Evil Within the Consequence, which I stayed up until 3 a.m. last night playing, and it is excellent. Tomorrow, we will have a Mario Kart 8 DLC tournament right here on twitch.tv/Game Trailers. You are a Mario Kart fan, I know this.
I am ranked.
I've seen you play Mario Kart in your PJs.
I'm ranked.
You're ranked?
I'm internationally ranked.
You're ranked? You're in WoW? I can't.
It was really funny. It was the one person who recognized it was just in a time trial on Rainbow Road for Mario Kart Re, and it was like Japanese name, Katie Rar, Japanese name, and someone was like, "You're Katie Rar," and I'm like, "That's me." One person validated me. That's all I needed.
So when you just played with your friends in your sleepover Mario Kart video, were you like just kind of like not really paying attention, or
yeah.
Oh no, you were just destroying them? You're
no,
like,
I mean,
I don't care if
can't.
we're on camera. You're dead.
Everybody and all my friends know, like everybody knows that if you play Mario Kart against me, it's just like, dude, let's give her the Wiimote because at least we have an advantage, like
The Wiimote is the worst.
Yeah, I know.
I'm one of those Japanese names. Like you translate that kanji, that says Elyse.
That's
so.
Yeah.
I'm probably.
Elyse-san.
Speaking of Evil Within, Mike Huber, who had started the concept of Full Playthrough Friday, and not only loves to do Full Playthrough Fridays, but loves to play horror games for Full Playthrough Friday, will wrap up his Evil Within Full Playthrough Fridays. The end of the Evil Within Mike Huber Full Playthrough Friday saga.
Wow.
Which ends with him going through
He's not here.
the consequence. Yeah, not in the room. But and of course he's going to play it on ultra hard mode because he's a monster. So that is all of the awesome content that you can check out this week on Game Trailers. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
And
It was
thank you
nice meeting Daniel at Nintendo in Seattle.
And thank you so much for telling people about Gamer Next Door. And I invite everybody. There's all sorts of places you got to go. Gamer Next Door has their own Twitter handle.
Gamer Next Door has their own Twitter at Gamer Next Door on all social media fronts: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But if you want to, follow Amelia and I have all our silly shenanigans. Like if you follow my Instagram, you will not be disappointed. It's at Pamela Horton 13. If you want to check us out on our Twitch channel, it's not up yet, but eventually it will. Twitch.tv/Playboy. And our YouTube channel, you have to kind of just find it because we don't have a direct link. So yeah.
But if you want, but if you want to watch stuff right now, I did go to youtube.com/Playboy and I saw you had a playlist.
There is a playlist there, but we have our own private channel, so if we're gonna get views, we want it on our channel.
There you go.
So,
Okay. All right. Don't want to send people the wrong location.
yeah, so subscribe to Gamer Next Door. You kind of just have to Google Gamer Next Door Splatoon, click the video, click on Gamer Next Door, and subscribe.
We also want views, and to get us those views, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can subscribe to us at twitch.tv/GameTrailers, where you are right now. We also have 2 YouTube channels, youtube.com/GameTrailers and youtube.com/C for channel/GT Reviews. You can also visit GameTrailers.com and watch our stuff. And thank you, Couch. Who played? So, Ben, did you play any Shovel Knight?
A little bit.
A little bit. Thank you,
bit.
Ben, for playing Shovel Knight. Thank you, Brad, for playing Shovel Knight. And thank you, Kyle Bosman, for playing Shovel Knight. How far did we get? What percentage?
We're actually, I think we can go to Kratos now. Is what makes this so
Okay,
heartbreaking.
these are the emotions right here, Pamela. You got it. This is Shield. This is your long lost love that is falling from the sky in a dream sequence, and you have to save her. And all these bad guys are coming out. Who's playing right now? Who's doing it? Kyle, save her, Kyle.
I'll save her.
Come on, Kyle.
I got her.
Come on.
It's okay.
Kyle.
I got her. It's no problem.
He's like, he's just jumping around dying.
It's going great.
No, Kyle.
Come on,
Lose
you can
life.
do it. I bereave.
Boy, yeah, she's really falling there.
I will save her. No, it's good. I'll save her.
There, go.
Nice.
I got you.
Well done, Kyle Bosman.
Romantic.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Elyse Willems,
Thanks
for
having me.
taking wonderful
Sorry,
questions.
Sorry, Kit Kats.
It's okay.
Thank you for the Kit Kats more than anything.
Yeah.
Thank you for the Kit Kats.
I will be remembered, like, what's her name again? Oh, no, she brought Kit Kats. We'll just call her Kit Kat.
I'm Brando Musical Note. You are Pamela Kit Kat Horton.
And I'm that name in kanji on the Mario Kart.
Right.
Yeah,
scoreboard.
just kanji mo yomamase.
Wow.
Hi.
Hi.
And we are GameTrailers.com, and this is GT Live. We will see you next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Damn it, that.